Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, Jerry Goebel and State Farm Insurance, Richmond, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, expressroofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank in Richmond and Berea, Luxury Pet Services in Richmond, Time Warner Cable, Equipment Sales and Rentals, Madison County Schools, Tatum Enterprises, and Real Life Community Church, myrealchurch.org. We want to be sure and thank our fine sponsors, Berea Online, First Gear, WKYT.com, and the Colonel Sports Card Shop. A shout out to another great sponsor, Journey Auto and Boat Sales in Richmond.
Welcome to the Coach John Clark Show.
Run! Good!
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the head coach John Clark Show of Madison Southern Eagles.
If you want to learn about these guys, tune in to Madison County School Sports Television.
Let's go!
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the head coach John Clark Show of Madison Southern Eagles.
If you want to learn about these guys, tune in to Madison County School Sports Television.
It's the John Clark Show from Cumberland Valley National Bank in Berea.
Welcome to the Coach Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford. We're here at Cumberland Valley National Bank in Berea. Beautiful location right next to Madison Southern High School where the Eagles play football.
Absolutely.
Tell us how you did last Friday night. We know it's a loss.
Yep.
But
Looking back at the film, you always look back. Beat ourselves, a lot of mistakes. We got a lot of stuff we've got to fix. I've never coached a team that's so close, but yet so far at the same time. So, most talented 0-2 team I've ever been a part of. I mean, the talent's there.
do you think it was just the first game? Trying to get everything
it's
in line?
It's just a lot of little mistakes. It's details. Okay. We're not being detailed about our details. Yesterday or Monday in our meeting before we watched film, I said, raise your hand if you're a sophomore and you played the other night. Well, 6 hands go up. There's an old saying, for every sophomore you play varsity football, you're going to lose a game, just based on inexperience alone. And then I said, okay, well, how many of you are not sophomores that are playing in your first varsity games? 15 hands go up. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at 21 guys that have never played, 21 basically varsity rookies. Physically capable, physically talented. As long as they're willing to clean up the mistakes they're making, which they are, we're not going to lose this team. They're not that way. We will get better and we will win games as the year goes on.
So your thoughts on, as far as getting prepared for the last game, are you doing anything different, setting yourself up? I know you have a bye week, but will you do anything different?
Well, this bye week, I think bye weeks are a great time to give kids time off. I really do.
Okay.
I believe in everything. Like, we can keep running the same drills we've been running. Mm-hmm. We can keep doing the same things we've been doing. But the reality is we're doing them right in practice, and then we're not doing them in a game. So until they're willing to apply what we do in practice into a game, it does no good to drill the same drill for another day.
Yeah.
Like I think that day off is just as important right now to give them some time to rest up their bodies. So. But we went Monday and we'll go Thursday this week. We'll go Thursday.
So on a positive note, you had players that did some outstanding things. Let's go there.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Nate Eads is playing really good football right now on both sides. He's running the ball well. He's a sophomore. He's playing really good on defense. Carter Smith had 26 tackles on defense. 26 is a lot of tackles in a football game. Justice Williams is just a junior. He's playing offensive line and defensive line. He's just really doing some great things for us. Our special teams play has gotten drastically better. We had a kickoff return, 95 yards, called back for a touchdown. A real knucklehead block in the back, way behind the play, brought the play back. But that's the stuff that we have to learn from.
Right.
You're talking about young guys. So.
Were you mad? You had to be mad.
Yeah, I wasn't
as a
happy about
coach,
it.
You can't be.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be happy about it? The kid, but I'm no more upset about it than the kid that did it was.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
and you hope they learn from them.
Well, and that's the difference is we don't have a team with we don't have a bunch of kids that don't care. We don't have problems with effort. We just have guys that make a knucklehead mistake and sit there and go, why in the world did I do that? And he's probably as mad as himself as anybody. You know, we've had too many fumbles. We're fumbling way too much. We're fumbled on quarterback, running back exchanges. That's stuff you do in Little League. And they're both sitting
So
there
why
going,
do you think they're doing that?
well, they're doing that because we're not being detailed. The fullback's track is too wide, or the quarterback doesn't get the ball all the way in his belly. It's just one of those things where we're not fully focused and dialed in as the game goes on. At every moment, we have to be dialed in.
Parents would think, okay, you're saying all this, but as a coach, that should be your responsibility, right? So
Yeah.
what would you say to?
Well, we just keep repping it and repping it, and we keep harping on it, and then we make them do things right in practice. For example, if you don't run the right track in practice, it's going to be 20 up downs. All right, and we've been doing that to this point. But the reality of it is, when you're on a game on Friday night,
Right.
there is a level of responsibility that's on the boys as well.
Right.
You can rep things. I mean, you can keep them until 10 o'clock at night and keep repping them.
Right.
But if they don't apply it on Friday night, there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about that.
Well, there is
so
a
they're just
difference.
learning how to apply.
Yeah.
And it's not the whole game. I mean, there's times where we move the ball. There's times where we get stops on defense. It's not the whole game. It's pockets and periods, and it's not everybody. It's 10 guys will do the right thing on one play, and one guy doesn't, and that one thing costs us. That's what it is.
Well, you knew they were a good team.
And they were a good team.
I mean,
Yeah,
do you expect them to go far? Though?
Garrett's a lot better than people think they are.
Yeah.
They're big. They're
We talked
they're
about that.
strong. They've got some good running backs. I mean, if you don't match up size-wise, and that's the other thing we're going to run into that we tell our kids. If you're undersized, you've got to be very detailed with your techniques.
Yes.
And if you're not going to beat a bigger team if you can't utilize your speed and take advantage with techniques and penalties. And we didn't take advantage with our techniques. We fumble the ball ourselves. When you do those things, going against a much bigger team, you're not going to win the game. And that's just the way. I mean, that's what the game of football is.
Right.
There's a reason there's a physical advantage for teams. Now, in the second half, we took over physically as the game goes on because their big guys got a little more tired, and we're a strong football team. So, we dominated the line of scrimmage the whole second half of the game. We won the second half 7-6, but that doesn't matter when it's 22-0 at halftime.
Right.
So we've got to do that earlier. We've got to maintain. And the other thing I think that happens is I think that our kids are still learning how to deal with adversity. You get down in a game early on, we keep telling them you got to weather the storm. We're going to get down because they're bigger than us. They're going to drive us. We're going to have trouble holding our own against them early in the game. When that happens, we have to weather that storm, not emotionally go into the tank and think the game's over, because later in the game, we're sitting there and we're moving the ball and we're stopping them and we're doing all these good things. And we have a kickoff return to call back, and then our kids are sitting there going, man, we could have played with them the whole game. Well, but we think we're out of it early on. That's a mental toughness thing.
You think several of them, even your seniors, do you think they thought that?
I think all kids
first
have
half?
that nature to do that at some point.
Like we
I think
can't
that's one of the
recover from it.
hardest things as a coach to do
Yeah.
is to create mental toughness in kids. It is a very difficult thing to do. We work on that constantly. I don't have a magic formula for how to do that. I don't know. It's something we're working on.
Yeah. You think it'll get better? It has to.
It will, because our kids want it to.
Yeah.
Last year it didn't because our team didn't want it to. This team wants it to.
Yeah.
It will improve.
Well, and last year it seemed like the focus, as much as you didn't want it to be. I mean, as a coach, it was a lot on Harris. You kept trying to pull it to all the rest of the team, because it's not just one guy,
Right.
So you kept trying to say, okay, it's the rest of the team. Now this rest of the team that you've talked about and said how great they are, they got to show up.
Yeah, and again, I told our kids in the meeting, I said, I've never enjoyed a team more. I
Yeah.
don't think we've ever had a better group of kids.
Yeah.
I think we're extremely talented.
Yeah.
All those details have to come together because and we're going to be undersized with everybody we play this year. We're not big. People are going to realize that. They're going to walk on the field. I mean, you guys were at the game. You saw how they just dwarfed us size-wise. I mean, we are not big. Everybody we play will be bigger than us. So we've got to be able to utilize our speed and be detailed about our details, or we're going to struggle.
They're feeding them something different in Lancaster.
It's like 20 minutes away, and they've got all these 300-pound kids. It's amazing.
I know, really.
I feel like everybody around us has kids like that. Now, we're strong.
Yeah.
But there's only so much, Justice Williams is a kid that benches 360 pounds and squats 550, but when you weigh 235, there's only so much you can do against a 340-pound kid.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
Well, and you even after a loss, you stay very positive, and I think that's wonderful for their mental toughness because you're moving on, and you have to.
Yeah, and this isn't my first year with our team that we've had some setbacks.
Right.
Last year's a great example. Last year was way more frustrating because we were losing, and I couldn't see anything that was going to dig us out of it because I didn't like the attitude within the team. This isn't even close. The attitude of the kids are great. We've had other adversity. Arguably our best player overall, Andrew Miller, went down with a knee injury in practice on Wednesday. When you design everything you do around certain strengths that you have, and one of our strengths was our tight end's ability to block and catch, and that really hurt us. Our kids, I think, handled that really well because a lot of them were sitting there going, my gosh, did we really just lose a 3-year starter at tight end?
Yeah.
And we did.
Well, and let's talk about that because, he's an intelligent kid, young man.
Yes.
He's going to go to school somewhere, and he wants to play football.
He will.
So what's his outcome going to be
Good
now
question,
that he's not going to be able to play?
He blew out his knee Wednesday in practice. He's had surgery already. They did surgery on, I think it was, surgery was Friday before the game. So we actually...
Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
He's got you all choked up.
No, we actually took a phone out to the coin toss and had him on
You did.
FaceTime because he's our 3-year starter. He's our returning captain, the one we've had. It wasn't the same without him.
Yeah.
And we
That's incredible.
But we
That's
all hate that for him because this is a kid that has done everything we've asked. He's a 4.0 student.
Yeah.
He's knocking Harvard, all these schools are looking at him. Will that affect some of that stuff? It depends on the recruitment process. His film from his scrimmage in his first game is outstanding. He shows his abilities. He will make a full recovery.
Yeah.
It's just going to be 6 months from now.
So what do these colleges do? Do they go back and look at his junior year footage?
Well, they've all seen his junior year footage. That's why they're looking at him in the first place.
Now.
So they're going to – some will say, hey, we don't have enough to go on. Some will say that. But I truly believe that things happen the way they happen for a reason. Andrew's going to end up where he's supposed to be, and it's going to be the right place for him. He will play college football.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. If he wants to play college football still, he will.
It's so tough. And
He's got
his
too
parents,
much.
It's got to be tough on
He's
them,
got
too
too many just things that just his work ethic. And
everything's going right
you've
for
seen
him until
He's
Wednesday.
6'3", 225 pounds.
Yeah.
He looks like a grown man.
He does.
And he plays very physical. He's got great hand-eye coordination. He's classroom-wise, he's going to make your team GPA better. He's the kind of kid coaches want.
Right.
He's going to have opportunities.
So even though he's not on the field,
he already
he's
had
still
one
gonna
offer
lead your
before the
team.
game even started.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he had an offer from Lindsey Wilson this summer. So he's going to have opportunities.
Yeah. So he's going to lead your team. It just won't be on the field. It'll be on the sidelines.
Yeah, and he'll still be very much a part of our program, and
You're
there's no question.
going to give him a wheelchair? You're going to make him walk around the sidelines on those crutches?
I don't think he'd sit in a wheelchair for us. I think he's the kind of kid that would want to be up
He's going to
and
be
moving.
right up there.
But
with
he's
the
got some
pads
young
on.
tight ends that we're going to need him
Crutches.
to tutor now because we moved Trey Livingood out to tight end, and then we've got Trey Livingood is just a sophomore. He was playing tackle. We moved him out to tight end, and then we've also got Nathan Pruitt, who is a junior at tight end. Just moved them out there so we have a little more depth and a little more size. Pruitt's a very good tight end. He's taller and leaner. Trey's a bigger, heavier body.
Yeah.
So we need both of those.
Yeah, well, it's sad because you hate that for him for his senior year, but
for him. It's part of the game.
It is,
part of the game.
and you hope it doesn't happen anymore because you
Absolutely.
got to have those seniors, you got to have those leaders to keep you out there on the field.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach, let's take a really quick break, really quick. When we come back, let's talk about next week.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, Jerry Goebel and State Farm Insurance, Richmond, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, expressroofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank in Richmond and Berea, Luxury Pet Services in Richmond, Time Warner Cable, Equipment Sales and Rentals, Madison County Schools, Tatum Enterprises, and Real Life Community Church, myrealchurch.org. We want to be sure and thank our fine sponsors, Berea Online, First Gear, WKYT.com, and the Colonel Sports Card Shop. shout out to another great sponsor, Journey Auto and Boat Sales in Richmond. It's the John Clark Show from Cumberland Valley National Bank in Berea.
Welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford here with head coach of the Madison Southern Eagles, John Clark, of course. You know, sometimes you bring some of the other coaches with you, and you know who you should have brought? Special teams coach.
Coach Culver, yeah, I'll have to bring him on. It's our bye week this week, so everybody's gone.
Yeah.
No, but our special teams play has been outstanding right now. We talked about that in the break a little bit. I think it's really one of the strong points of our team at the moment. Carter Smith is punting the ball outstanding. He's averaging 55 yards a punt on the year right now. I just really like what we're doing on special teams. We had a 95-yard kickoff for a touchdown. We've had over 100 kickoff return yards the last 2 games. We're not giving up punt return yards. We're pinning guys on kickoff. We're covering the ball well. We spent a lot. Coach Colbert really took a lot of pride this offseason of revamping the way we're doing special teams. We just weren't happy with it last year. It was pretty bad.
So what's he doing different then?
Well, he spent a lot of time researching, what programs are doing and what best fits us. He's created circuits that we do for special teams as well. So there's days where we'll do certain drills. The whole team's doing certain drills that are geared towards special teams. We did this stuff all summer long. Yeah. So, and we're really seeing a big difference in our special teams unit right now. And the only thing we really lacked was a field goal kicker, and Chesney's doing outstanding for us right now.
How can we forget about that? You got to be getting all kinds of questions. And
surprisingly, I've not.
You're not?
As much as I thought we would, I've really not.
You think the news media would be all over that?
It's funny to me. It hasn't been as bad as I expected. It hasn't been as much as I expected, but she's doing outstanding. She's playing great soccer. The soccer pro. I went to my first girls' soccer game this last week.
Did it kill you? It didn't kill you.
No. I've got a little. I've got
now you have an
I've got a little one at the house now.
Yeah.
That I wasn't used to having last year. I got a little girl, Kate, and she plays soccer.
Right.
And so now with Chesney kicking, she really wanted to go watch Chesney play. So we went to our first girls' soccer game.
Yes.
So that was she's a great soccer player. Yeah. It was exciting to watch her play. As physical as she is on the soccer field, I think she could probably handle her own on the football field as well. No, it's she's doing a great job. She's doing a great job. She kicked a 38-yarder in practice the other day. We're starting to back her up, move around a little bit. She's starting to get a feel for how to move around the field with it, but it's not affecting anything with soccer, which is great too.
And you would think it would, with it being during the same season.
Well, we only have her come when she can.
Okay.
All right, and she's natural at it enough that we don't need her to practice a bunch to be able to do it, and we have not changed anything about her kicking motion. So to her, it's no different than when she just steps up and just kicks. Yeah. And she's been consistent with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super surprised that the TV stations, everybody, other than me, I'm the only one that keeps going, hey, what about Sybil?
I think it's like a lot of things. There was a big initial excitement, and then everybody kind of fades out of that a little bit. Yeah. So.
And if she does something super
when she hits her first field goal, that'll be a big deal for everybody or something. But and that will happen at some point. I'm almost positive.
It will. Next Friday. Not this one, but the next one against Bourbon County.
You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us your thoughts on that. I mean,
Bourbon is a great football team.
Yeah. You're going to go to the Central game to scout them out this Friday night?
Yeah, we're gonna cash in on the opportunity.
You will? Okay.
Thank
I was
Joe.
wondering.
Did you get it? Thank Joe.
I missed it. He did. He threw one in there on me.
No, we're absolutely.
I didn't know if you'd go to the Central game. Would you do that?
Well, I've got a week off, and there's 2 teams that we play. Absolutely.
Okay.
We're going to get the Bourbon film on Saturday morning.
Well, right.
But the difference is, I think there's a difference when you can sit in the stands and get a feel for the actual flow of the game is a very different dynamic.
Right.
So, 2 teams we play. Absolutely.
Most
of my staff will probably be at the game, get a chance to, I'm going to encourage our kids to go watch the game as well, to get a chance to see these teams play. And, Bourbon beat a very, very good Southwestern team. You don't beat a good team unless you're a good team.
Right.
So I know we've got our hands full with Bourbon. We scheduled them for a reason. They're a great team, and if we're going to be what we want to be down the road, we decided to play tough competition.
Yeah.
Our schedule is not going to get any easier. Our schedule is going to get tougher every week from here on out.
So what are your thoughts on them? Because, I know you're going to scout them out and see the tape, but like you said, they're big too.
Well, I know they're always a well-coached football team.
Right.
And I know they always have really good team speed.
Yeah.
And so I know they'll have those things, and they've had outstanding quarterback play for the last several years, and they always have an outstanding running back. So we're going to have to tackle well on defense, but we have got to stop turning the ball over on offense. Last time we played at Bourbon, was in 2012. We opened up at Bourbon in 2012, the year we went 7-5. We opened up there. We turned over twice, and they scored on both turnovers. If not, we play an outstanding football game against them. So we lost to them turning the ball over. They're well coached. They're going to do good things. We've got to stop giving people the ball back.
Well, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, you gave us some thoughts, but
we've got to be more disciplined with football. We can't be so careless. We've got to be more detailed with our ball handling in the backfield. Have to be.
And see, I guess my question is, you've got all these seniors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you would think that they would be helping coach the younger guys. Because like you said, you got a lot of younger ones playing.
Well, but I've also got a lot of seniors that are the ones fumbling the football.
And okay, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to say that.
Well, I mean, it's true. I mean,
Okay.
People that watch the game, it's not just the young guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
Because
got.
I don't want to call them out. They're great men. But should they be doing that at their senior year?
Well, no. I mean, you hope the reason you have a lot of seniors playing is seniors should equal fewer mistakes.
Right.
Our seniors need to make fewer mistakes, and they know that.
I was trying to be politically correct.
But they know that. It's not anything that we haven't talked about in meetings. It's not just them. But that's the thing is, to me, there's not a lot of separation in my team right now between my seniors, my juniors, and my sophomore.
Okay.
We're all on this field together.
Right.
It's not just one group or anything. Now, last year I didn't feel that way. This year, we're a team. There's mistakes at all levels. You know, we made coaching mistakes on Friday. You know, we sit there in meetings and my offensive coordinator watching film with him, Coach Skinner says, "Hey, this was a bad call, guys. I shouldn't have called this play at this situation." You know, we're going to take accountability for our mistakes too. There's things that we wish we would have done a little different. Now, ultimately, the game came down to details. We're putting the ball on the ground. We were misaligned on defense a lot, and our defense is very simple right now. We were misaligned a lot, and that's attention to detail by our defensive players.
Okay.
If we're aligned in the right places, the ball doesn't end up in those places. When you misalign, the ball ends up in those places. Until we can line up in the right places and go to the right gaps on defense, we're going to struggle. Those little simple things have got to be done. Until our fullbacks take the right tracks on every play, we're going to turn the ball over if we're trying to hand it to them and they're not where they're supposed to be. All right? And until our linemen take the right first step on a block, we're going to have penetration. So it's not one little thing. There's a lot of little details that need cleaned up.
to come together.
Now, but the thing is I feel like I've never seen a team so close.
Yeah.
But so far.
So far.
Because it's so many different things, there's details that need cleaned up, but it's the small things that need fixed. It's not effort, it's not talent, it's not ability, it's details that we've worked. We did all these details against Somerset. That's what's frustrating.
Oh.
We did them against Somerset. You know, we go back and we watch Somerset with them, and we're sitting there going, look at all these little things we've done that we worked.
And you did it right.
Yeah, and then we go to Bullitt Central, and we did them periodically. On offense, we did them. On defense, we didn't. And now we get to this game, and a lot of those little details are wrong.
Right.
We're not practicing it different. We're not doing anything different as a coaching staff or as a team. Their attention to the details has faded. That's got to be back. And ultimately, that's on me. I got to make sure the attention to details is where it needs to be.
Right.
So we're working on getting back to that.
That leads me to your word of the week because I'm guessing it's about detail.
It is accountability this week.
Okay.
It is accountability. It has all been about accountability is being responsible for your actions. So if you're somebody that made the mistake, you've got to stand up and say, I screwed this up. I know I need to fix it. I'm going to fix it. We're going to be accountable for our actions and be accountable to the guy next to us. All right. So that's a big part of being a young man and growing up and being an adult. I mean, we all have worked in places where, you wish people would, where's my stapler? Somebody's taking my stapler out of my desk drawer and nobody's going to fess up to it.
Right.
Just say if you got it, say you've got it.
Right.
I think accountability is a very big thing.
Yeah.
So that's what our deal is this week. And as coaches, we are holding each other accountable. The players are holding us accountable. We're holding the players accountable. They're holding themselves accountable. So our word this week is accountability. I think it fits perfectly.
Now, will you have a different word next week, or will you keep the same word?
No, every week. Yeah,
So
every week.
You got a schedule of words, or do you just wait to
You know
see
what?
how they
I've
play?
actually got a big, I've got like a file notebook
You
of all
do.
this stuff. But at the same time, I try to pair it with what fits
right.
the team at that time.
How's it going with getting sponsors? And let's talk about as well as sponsors. But let's talk about your big grand event that you
The
guys
reverse
had.
raffle.
Yeah, I didn't win.
It was awesome. You did not win. Neither of you guys won. Rosenbaums are out too. Winners went home with $2,100.
Okay.
So it was a big night. We ended up having a great night, great fundraiser for us. It was a lot of
I
fun.
was waiting on that call.
We have some plans. We have some plans this next year where we're going to really expand this event.
Yeah.
And I really think we're going to start selling tickets for the event in like April, May.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to try to get this pot up to about $10,000 next year.
Well, that'd be great.
So that's what it's capable of doing. And everybody there says the same thing every year. They're like, why doesn't everybody else do this? Like, this is ridiculous. And
Yeah.
it's a super fun night too.
Yeah.
So
I hated to miss it, but I was at the NASCAR race.
you know, there's
so.
rumors next year there may be a karaoke machine and a DJ present. So it's becoming a very fun event.
So will you sing?
Oh, our whole staff can sing. Nobody's scared. Nobody's scared.
That
Hey,
sounds
wait a
to
minute,
me
wait a
like
minute, wait a
a
minute.
challenge.
Hey, nobody's scared.
Do you challenge them? Like, would you go head to head with another coach and?
You know, Coach Colbert's got some pipes. Coach Smoot's got some pipes too. They can sing a little bit.
I see it coming.
Yeah, they can sing a little bit.
That might be all right.
No, but it's
Or
it'll be
add a
fun
dunking
event.
booth and put you right in there with it.
And if it raises money and I don't have to keep doing little fundraisers here and there, you can dunk me in anything you want. And I'll
Chili
be fine with
cook-offs
it.
and all that.
Yeah.
You know, those things are wonderful, but they don't raise a lot of money.
Well, and we're to
It's
the point
nice
now
to
where
have something
I don't
like
do a fundraiser, and as boosters, we don't do fundraisers that aren't going to hit a couple thousand a pop because
Yeah.
it's just not worth it.
It's a lot of work for a little bit of
A
money.
lot of work, and you wear your parents out. You know,
Yeah.
when you're trying to raise $35,000 a year to run a program,
Yeah.
and you know we don't have the market Richmond does for sponsorship. You know, it's a much smaller market here now. We have some good sponsors, but it's just not the same market.
Right. Well, there's no reason why you couldn't go to Richmond. I mean,
Yeah, we do.
business is there.
I mean,
I was going
we
to
do.
say.
There's no reason why Richmond can't come down here and sponsor us.
That is true.
So,
that is
we
true.
do. I mean, there was a big crowd there Friday night.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were there. It's a huge crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to, I mean, as a business, you're not going to find anything in Berea during a year where you're probably going to get that many eyes.
At
I mean,
one place at
how many
one
people do
time.
you think were there Friday night?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I'd say, what, 5,000, 6,000 people?
Yeah, a bunch.
We were pretty packed. We were pretty packed Friday night.
We're talking to Randy like he's on
I know,
camera.
like he's here right now.
He's going to spin the camera.
We're getting
around
way
in a
too
minute.
comfortable, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, and only one bank junk so far. So anyway, okay. I know that you're supposed to have a date night tonight, so I don't
I
want to
know.
keep you. But
It's almost my 1-year wedding anniversary.
I know I was
So,
going to throw that in. Does
yeah.
it feel like it?
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been the best year ever. So,
Should we?
yeah, but
Okay.
because it's bye week, it's date night. So we got to wrap this up.
I know. I'm sorry.
no,
I
it's
kept
okay.
you late.
It's all right.
What else do you want to talk about before we go? You want to talk about your JV freshman team?
We play at Scott County on Monday. JV and freshman both played GRC last week. JV won. Freshman did not, but our freshman team, you've got two teams coming from two different middle schools merging. It's always a dynamic there. It's a little tougher, and both were coming from merging when they didn't win a lot of games in middle school. So we're really having to teach that group how to win and how to be accountable too. Discipline has been a tough thing in that group. When you come from losing in middle schools, there's not going to be a lot of discipline in your group. So, but they are improving. I think they'll get better. They don't have a choice. We're not going to let them not get better.
Yeah.
So, Scott County's a tough opponent. You're not going to play much better opponent.
They're always incredible.
Yeah, they're really good. They got a lot of talent. So, our freshman team, they've got a big task ahead of them on Monday, but we expect them to go hard and compete. And, we've put them in that Bluegrass Conference, our JV and our freshmen, so they're both playing mostly 6A programs, which I think is good for our kids.
Yeah.
Again, we're trying to play the best
You gotta
competition
challenge
we
them.
can to get our kids where we want them to be.
Yeah. I mean, you want them to challenge them. You hate for them to lose.
Right.
But it's only going to make them better in the
Well,
long run.
and
But
we-
for mental
We kind of have a
toughness, it's
philosophy
hard.
in our program, I'll be honest. A lot of people won't agree with this, but that's where you get the advantage of being the head coach and making the choice. You can schedule down and sit there at 8-2, and then you might lose the first round of the playoffs, and you're sitting there at 8-3 with 8 wins but no playoff success to show for it. Or you can schedule difficult opponents, and you might be 5-5, or you might be 4-6, but you could make a playoff run, and that's what we're about. And we've talked to our kids about that. We don't make any bones about that. I don't care if we're 7-2 this year, or 2-7 if we're ready for playoff football. That's what
'Cause it
is
starts
the most
over then.
important to me.
Yeah.
Is that we need to be the best team we can be in November.
Right.
And you can schedule a down schedule and have wins, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to play the best competition in the playoffs. Or you can schedule tougher opponents, take some losses, but if you have the mental ability to learn from those losses, you can be better for it in the playoffs. But that can be tough too. You roll the dice as a coach doing that because sometimes the kids can't handle that. This group can, which is why we scheduled our schedule the way it is. We have a very tough schedule, and it's okay.
And you could see where some parents, they just want bragging rights. They want to be able to say, yeah, my
Well,
kid's
a lot of
senior
coaches
year.
are that way too.
Yeah.
We knew coming in, Garrett's a great football team. They were 9-3 last year. Bourbon was 9-3 last year. Bourbon beat Garrett in the second round of the playoffs last year. All right, so we have on a board every team that we play, what their record was last year, who their top players are, what their best wins were last year. Anderson County is a team in our district that they're a perennial region team. Pulaski won 5A last year. They went toe-to-toe with Scott County for 4 quarters the other night. We need to play teams like that.
Right.
And so that's why we'll continue to
I
try
agree.
to do that.
Do you ever get slack from it? Do you ever get parents that send you emails and I don't
well,
like
no,
what you did, or I don't?
That does sometimes, but I don't let that stuff bother me.
You know.
I've been doing this a long time. I've got a philosophy for what we do, and that's what I was hired to do. Is my job the way I do it, and
Do you respond if a parent gives you an email? Do you typically
something like
respond?
I always respond to parents. It's part of my job, but.
Right.
Something about the schedule.
They may not like your
something about
answer.
the schedule. Yeah, they may not like my answer.
Yeah.
But
But you're honest.
Yeah, part of your job as a head high school coach is I think you have to respond. Now, I do tell people though sometimes I think people will take it a little too far and get out of line and think they can have access to you guys all the time. I don't like.
Or try to help coach.
Yeah, like they can't come up to us during practice or after games. There is a fine line of you need to set up a meeting and it needs to be an appropriate meeting or some of those things.
Halfway through the season last year, you switched it up and made your practices no parents allowed. Did you stick with that this year?
No, because I haven't had problems with this group.
Okay.
But if I had to, I would.
Thanks for watching this John Clark Show.
Run, good.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the head coach John Clark Show of Madison Southern Eagles.
If you want to learn about these guys, tune in to Madison County School Sports Television.
Let's go.
Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, Jerry Goebel and State Farm Insurance, Richmond, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, expressroofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank in Richmond and Berea, Luxury Pet Services in Richmond, Time Warner Cable, Equipment Sales and Rentals, Madison County Schools, Tatum Enterprises, and Real Life Community Church, myrealchurch.org. We want to be sure and thank our fine sponsors, Berea Online, First Gear, WKYT.com, and the Colonel Sports Card Shop. A shout out to another great sponsor, Journey Auto and Boat Sales in Richmond.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County Schools Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
The following is in smokeless tobacco: cadmium, formaldehyde, lead, nicotine, nitrosamines, polonium-210, hydrazine, benzopyrene, and uranium-235. Don't be a dip. Don't dip.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, the definition of binge drinking is having 5 drinks over the course of 2 hours. When done excessively, this may eventually lead to memory loss, unwanted pregnancy, and sexually transmitted diseases, cancer, excessive vomiting, alcohol poisoning, and possibly death.
Nathan, can you hear me?
If you don't want to swallow any of this, chances are the next tube you put in your mouth won't be a good time. For more information on binge drinking, please visit the Centers for Disease Control website at www.cdc.gov.